Is it
Funny dude.
recording? Yeah, it is recording. Hi, good morning, Dr. Jazz and fellow friends who are watching. We are from Group 11, and today we are going to discuss about the case study. And now I'm going to proceed to our first speaker.
Hello, I'm Jackie Tan. I'll be talking about the introduction. The purpose of this research is to investigate the state of employee absence by Stephen Adams. There are two main characters in this case study, who is John and her supervisor, Sylvia. John has made troubles for her co-worker and supervisor as she is not able to attend work because of her babysitter unable to babysit her child. Just has called in sick and unable to take care of her child. Sylvia has no choice but to give a suspension to her worker as she has given John many chances and warnings due to her behavior.
Okay, thank you so much, Ricky, for the brief introduction. Now I will proceed to the next presenter.
Okay. Hi, my name is Zijian, and today I'll be presenting question 1 and 2. So for the first question, was the suspension fair? Yes, I think the suspension was quite fair as based on the case study. Joanne was warned by her supervisor, Sylvia, several times due to not attending work. And the reason Joanne did not attend work was because her babysitter had called in sick. She could have hired another babysitter to take care of her child since she was given a 15 days period, which is more than enough to manage all her stuff, but she didn't. And that has caused Great American market to lose sales due to low productivity. So I strongly support with the suspension that Sylvia has given to Joanne. Okay, for the next question, did Sylvia acted responsibly? Yes, as she has provided Joanne a 15 days period to manage all her stuff to ensure Joanne's child safety while she is working. The care theory of Gilligan's ethics is clearly shown in this question to show Sylvia's care towards Joanne's child. However, Joanne did not use the 15 days period given efficiently and effectively to find a new babysitter or even considering sending her child to the daycare. Instead, Joanne blames the babysitter that she's the reason that she cannot attend work. Okay, thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Zijian, for your presentation. It is really good. I will proceed to the next presenter.
Good day, my name is Moxon Hao, and I will be discussing whether the babysitter or Joanne should be fired. Through the first look of Jonah's case, there is evidence that may solidify the use of discharge to Joanne due to her excessive amount of absence and her not utilizing the company's service of swapping ships. However, if we implement the utilitarian theory in this situation, Sylvia's decision to use a suspension on Joanne is a much more justifiable reason than just firing her. There is an indication that Joanne could be a very experienced worker who is very familiar with great American market, or is someone who possesses special skill that is uncommon from her peers. Besides, if Joanne were to be fired, the company itself would be at risk of wasting time and the budget in organizing a recruitment process just to find a replacement that may not be as experienced or as skilled as Joanne. Overall, it is not necessary to terminate Joanne from the company, especially when the issue can be solved if Joanne have the ability to ask her parents or relatives to look after her baby. Next question. Now on to the case about the babysitter. Although the evidence is vague at best, this may imply that the babysitter had taken numerous of leaves from looking after Joanne's baby. Fortunately, we can examine the case much further with the theories of virtues And through analyzation, there are suggestions that this individual could be a devious and untrusted person with further evidence of not making promises of taking the baby and having a significant number of leaves that caused Joanne to exceed her absence, suggesting that the babysitter is taking advantage of Joanne's unfortunate situation by pretending to be a responsible babysitter while using excusable reasons of not taking care of the baby, which can be used as proof to identify the babysitter as someone who leeches on other people's earnings. In conclusion, it is justifiable to advise Joanne to replace her current babysitter with a much better one. She can use websites that specialize on employing babysitter with experience and skills of looking after children and babies. Now I would like to give my speech to the next presentation, to the presenter. Thank you.
Hello, we discussed about was Sylvia fair in her actions. Sylvia's made a right choice to suspended John for 15 days because of her own wrongdoing. She could have done the following. Find a different babysitter for the baby. It is important to turn up for works that it will make difficulties on other workers during her absence. Secondly, she could have shift with her co-worker. By shifting with her co-workers, she could have made her working hours easier and make uh, her more comfortable and without stretching her out. Thirdly, she should have called her relative or friends to take care of her baby. While she is working, she could have paid them hourly to make her life easier. Lastly, she could have switched different job if she is babysitting her baby, such as online work. Working from home has flexible schedule and she could have take breaks at any time to tend her baby. However, she does not put any effort on finding different babysitter. This has caused her to spend lesser time focusing on work, less productive. Her remaining work starts to pile up and frequent rest needed due to fatigue.
Okay. Um, Now I'm going to talk about the solutions for working mothers. And yes, there are solutions for working mothers that we can talk about. All right. There's short-term solution and long-term solution in this situation. Now I'm going to talk about the short-term solution first. As for short-term solutions, okay, managers, they can allow working mothers to work at home so that they can juggle work and their children at the same time, uh, so that it will give flexibility. It will be more flexible for working mothers because they can juggle two things in one time. This will make sure that working mothers are more convenient and they do not have to worry about who is going to take care of their children while they are at work because they can do two things in one time. And besides, managers, they can start to offer flex time. So uh, flex time allows working mothers to decide when to work or when to not work. So they can working mothers, they can choose to not work when there is no legal guidance supervising their children. However, when there is a legal guardian supervising their children, then they can choose to work on that day. As for the long-term solutions, all right, there are long-term solutions also because the short-term solution is just a temporary solution that cannot be used in long run. So there's long-term solution. Firstly, as for long-term solution, we need to use our human rights. We need to educate, we need to let the government know what is the woman's needs in today's world, the woman's priority. Therefore, the government will only be aware about what the woman really needs in today's world so that working mothers do not need to struggle every day about juggling work and their children at the same time. Besides, government can start to offer subsidies to businesses for childcare services businesses, so that in the future, in that country, there will be more and more businesses who are offering childcare services. Therefore, more children can be taken care of in the society. So that's all from me. I will pass to the next teammate. Next teammate. Lai. Lai.
My mic was muted.
Okay, it's all right, Mike.
So should the working fathers take turn to babysit? I think according to moral relativism, the father should take turn to babysit. So first of all, what is moral relativism? Moral relativism consider what is right or wrong. It's not absolute. It is relative and variable depending on the person and circumstances and social institution. So for this, as it is urgent for Joan to go for work to solve her absenteeism problems, the father should take turn. And one good reason for the father taking turn to babysit is it enhances their relationship as the father shows care and understanding of John's situation. Furthermore, according to moral objectivism, the father should not take turn to babysit. And what is moral objectivism? Moral objectivism is where people consider certain acts as objectively right or wrong, independent of human opinion. Why the father should not take turn to babysit is because he will need to take a few days off, and it will also have the same ramifications as John's situation. The father will face the same problems as John. That's why the father should not take turns. Whether the father should take turns or not, it depends on the family. What do they prioritize? Do they prioritize their relationships more than their income or work? I think, in my opinion, the father should take turns because it's improved. It will bring unity for the family, and it also enhance their relationship. Because I prioritize family over work or income. That's my opinion. And that's all for me. I will pass the time to our next presenter.
Thank you, Lai. Now I'm going to sum up our whole presentation by explaining the theory used in this case study. So the first one is Gilligan theory of ethics. So what does it mean by Gilligan theory of ethics? It concerns about the ethics of care and the sense of morality, as for the Gilligan theory of ethics. And the second one is utilitarian theory. So utilitarian theory concerns the right and wrong of a situation. And the third one is virtue theory. Virtue theory concerns about understanding and live a life of moral character. And the last but not least is moral relativism and moral objectivism. Moral relativism is about how the morality. I'm sorry, someone can mute yourself, please. Thank you. Relativism is the meaning of relativism is how the morality is relative to the norms of one's culture. And objectivism, on the other hand, is the moral values and virtues are intrinsic and not dependent on anything outside of them. So that's all for our presentation. Thank you so much for watching this video, and we will see you all next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.